Remember when people used to miss the market? Like that hasn't happened since 2020 really, but they would list in like August and everyone would be on vacation, or they would maybe try for that. There's that window in the fall, typically like a week after Labor Day, everyone kind of gets their kids back to school up until about Thanksgiving. That's kind of that historic window that you see for another bite at the apple. Missing the market is real. And especially on the seller side, I can't stress this enough. And if I'm a seller, I want to be out there when inventory's low. I want to be out there when there's not a lot of competing neighbors. And that happens now. That happens January, February, March, not in May when we historically see inventory peak every year and people think green grass is going to sell their home. It's true. I mean, it's happened. You laugh because it's true. And missing the market is going to happen. And I look at that July 4th date, especially in the Northeast. That's when things typically slow down. Vacation season picks up. And there's still some opportunity there. But a lot of folks, especially those move-up buyers, they want to move before their kids go back to school. This is real life. And now school starts in like August. I mean, or it's September, depending on where you are. So there is a window here. And if you're a seller that's listening to this, I'd be getting in touch with the knowledge broker in my market to move up my time frame right now to take advantage of what's going on. Low inventory, rates predicted to go into the fives. I wouldn't be waiting for the perfect picture or the fresh mulch in the flower beds like we see up here. I mean, it's been the mildest winter since like 1970 up here. So you might as well just get your home on the market now anyway.
It's going to be pretty cold this weekend, I think.
This is
right?
it, man. I mean, it's 25. When it takes single digits, that's cold.
That's cold. But here's a headline, Tom, and I want to break this down because if you actually want to be that knowledge broker in your market, this is a headline I would use in my subject email to address this, because if you just let your database, if you just let even your partners, your attorney partners that maybe aren't watching housing as closely as you are, or your lender partners, if you just let them sit on this headline, they may take this at face value. This is the second biggest home price correction of the post-World War II era. Okay, this is a Fortune headline. Shout out to Lance Lambert. He's a great follow on Twitter at News Lambert. Mm-hmm. He did preface it by saying it's also a fairly mild correction so far. But what are people's eyeballs? And mine did the same thing. I said, whoa, the biggest home price correction of the post-World War II era? Because World War II is so long ago.
Yes, it was very long time.
House, very long. Not in as we talk about human existence, but when we talk about housing in America, that was a long time ago. Okay, so this number is crazy here. We had a 2.5% drop in U.S. home prices, which makes the second biggest home price correction of this World War II era. That's the fifth straight month. And so U.S. home prices since June, since the peak, have fallen 2.5% since that time. Okay, 2.5% doesn't sound like a lot, but it was the sharpest drop since 2008, only 2.5% in a short period of time. Now, it's a mild correction compared to 26% that started in 2007. So it's nowhere close to that. Some people are going to argue, Tom, though, on TikTok and other places that, the other 23.5% is coming. We're going to see this 20% drop. Using this headline, second largest correction since World War II era, here's why it doesn't matter in X market. What is the information following that an agent or a broker or an advisor should be articulating for their local market?
So there's a great slide on Keeping Current Matters. We've talked about this on previous episodes, why 2008 and 2023 are not the same. You look at jobs, you look at foreclosures, you look at risky loans that were being given out, and you look at inventory, because we've got this supply and demand. It's the simplest economic concept. The demand's high, the supply's not. So until that evens out or exceeds, and you think of it like a seesaw, right? It's not going to change. Now, of course, there's going to be a peak with pricing, and when rates went up, there was people buying homes that probably wouldn't have bought homes the first half of 2022 if rates had been higher. I mean, let's call it what it is. The people trading up and getting that 3-4% rate, they're going to buy that home because, wow, this is so much more affordable. This is an opportunity in the marketplace. When the rates go up to a normal interest rate, which is where we are now, we're in the fives and sixes. That's normal. Then you get
Mhm.
the life movers. The typical people that are most motivated to transact are the ones that are selling and buying. So that's something you got to articulate, and you've got to make it understandable to every consumer out there. You can't use all the real estate jargon. Don't do that. Break it down into simple terms. Hey, rates hit historic lows. Then they went up to the normal historical rate, and some buyers pulled out of the market. Some sellers are locked in at lower payments. And here's what we saw. And you can even take that chart from KCM and just use it. I mean, it breaks down 4 or 5 stats there. I hit on a number of them, and it makes it really simple. And that's what's going to speak to consumers right now, because they see these headlines, then they jump like 10 steps down the road and think the market's crashing. That's not the case, and we've got the data to back it up.